And I'm Billy, and we are here on Bourbon Street, hanging out in the Big Easy before Wizard World New Orleans Comic Con.
And before the con is on, we're going to check out some really cool things here in New Orleans and share them with you.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Underground Media Comics, check out some of the cool stuff they got there.
I'm going to go to the original coffee shop, the Cafe Du Monde, to get some beignets.
Ooh, and then we're going to go to one of New Orleans' oldest cemeteries that's supposedly haunted.
Ooh. Come on, check it out with us.
So my first stop definitely had to be here at Media Underground because they have the coolest toys, comics, posters, everything that you can think of. So I'm gonna go take a look around at what I'm gonna blow all my money on. Avengers World. It's not enough to just have Avengers, now we have a whole world of them. It's just an Avengers world. I absolutely love this. These variants are so awesome. This is how Superman actually breaks chains. It's just Flash going in. He doesn't even know any better. And this is pretty cool. If you want to get a whole series of comics, like right here we got Original Sin, they packaged all 1 through 8. So you can actually take all 8 issues all at one time instead of having to search around for them. You get the whole storyline. Very cool, very convenient. So I'm hanging out here at Media Underground Comics with owner Ronnie. This is an awesome store.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
So we're here for New Orleans Comic Con. You actually have some ties to New Orleans Comic Con.
Yes, I actually started NOLA Comic Con as a small convention when I opened this store back around 2007, and trying to generate interest. And the staff at Wizard contacted me about helping me along and acquiring it and building it into something bigger and better. So it's been pretty cool.
Now, around 2007, this is still kind of a post-Katrina kind of time. Was it kind of, you know, what was the response from the community at that point as far as a Comic-Con here in New Orleans?
Well, it was a little crazy. 2006 was horrible with Katrina. I mean, I'm sorry, when we opened in 2006, we noticed the collector community was a little down, I guess. You know, a lot of people lost their collections. And there's a little fatigue, it seemed. So, like, you know, we wanted to generate a little interest and a little excitement. So that's why in 2007 I did the convention. It did generate a lot of buzz, and it brought a lot of people back into it that had kind of sworn off collecting after losing so much. And so it was a very interesting time. It did help boost things in the community.
Yeah, so in a way it kind of was like almost a renaissance of geekness here in New Orleans.
Right.
So have you seen that now that the Comic-Con has come, it's getting bigger every year, that there's kind of maybe a population of New Orleans that maybe before weren't so into Comic-Con, but now maybe have gotten more into comics and everything pop culture?
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. Wizard World has brought in so many people. We've seen people from all walks lately coming in that have gone to see different actors or celebrities, and it's bringing people that I didn't know had any interest in, you know, the comics or the science fiction stuff. Never even walked into my store. Friends of the family that I see at the convention out of the blue and walk up to me. So it's definitely bringing in a lot of new people.
Yeah, there's a little something for everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
And it seems like with pop culture now, especially with comic books, because of, you know, films like Guardians of the Galaxy and, you know, Justice League coming out, that it's almost starting to become mainstream. Have you seen people coming in here like, oh, I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy, what do you got for me?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have people coming in, where did all this start, and, you know, where are these characters from? Especially Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of people weren't familiar with those characters. So it's introducing people into all new books, which is really nice, because it kind of expands the line for us, and, you know, people are picking up things they never did before. So a lot of questions, and we always have a lot of, you know, books for them to you know, help break them into it.
Now, as I'm looking around, I see 1,010,000 things that I want to spend all of my paycheck on. What are some of the coolest things that you've got here for me?
Oh, well, I've got some really cool books if you'd like to take a look at.
Let's go check it out.
Sure.
Okay, is this what I think this is? Because this looks pretty amazing.
This is, these are #1 editions of some of the greatest Marvel books ever. Wow. Some iconic covers, X-Men #1, Fantastic Four #1, and Daredevil #1.
I can't believe I'm actually seeing these pieces of history like right here before me. So how did these even get into your hands?
Well, sometimes we're lucky enough that someone comes in with one of these gems and we can buy it outright. With this, I'm actually working a deal with a collector who has acquired many of these books and is constantly upgrading, and I am just working with him through a partnership to move his part of his collection.
These are absolutely incredible, and these will be on display
at the convention. Yes, we'll have those there this weekend.
And I'm sure these are worth a little bit more than just something off the rack today.
Yeah, it definitely takes like a committed collector to buy these.
Honey, we're not paying rent this month. We're just gonna live with your parents because I think these are incredible, and I might just have to take one.
Which would be super cool with it too. So.
Yeah, I mean, come on, who needs a house when you've got Fantastic Four #1? This is where it all started.
When you're uncomfortable, just look at the cool book.
I mean, you kind of almost feel like an Indiana Jones of collectibles. Do you ever feel that way? You're like, the Holy Grail.
I have had those feelings often, yeah. Sometimes it's not even a very expensive book. It's just that book that's so hard to find. It's not always about the value as much as I need this one book that's for some reason eluding my collection. And yeah, it's fantastic.
You just turned into the Gollum of
collecting.
Yeah,
right. It's mine. Yeah.
All right, well, before I blow all of my rent money on your stuff here, because you have so much cool stuff, we are going to go check out the rest of the Big Easy. So thank you so much, Ronnie. I will see you this weekend, and you hold one of those for me.
All right, yeah, I'll put one aside for you. Thanks.
We are at Cafe Du Monde, the original coffee stand here in New Orleans on Decatur Street. I'm gonna get myself some beignets. You guys have to come down here if you're in New Orleans. Trust me, it's amazing. Cafe Du Monde, the original French market coffee stand, serving cafe au lait and hot beignets, which are French donuts, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This familiar New Orleans landmark has been located in the French market since the early 1860s.
What do you got there?
I got some beignets. These are French donuts, and they're awesome. Dude, you want one? You know you do.
Yeah, of course I do. What are you, new here?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're so good.
Oh, I feel like Scarface right now. Oh. So good.
And that's how you eat a beignet.
That's how you do it in NOLA. Big Easy. So now we're here at St. Louis Cemetery #1. Now this is one of 3 old Roman Catholic cemeteries here in New Orleans.
This place is pretty amazing. We're gonna walk around and show it to you, but I have something that's gonna blow your mind.
I cannot wait.
Blow your mind.
Blow.
As you can see, all these graves are above ground vaults. Most were constructed in the 18th century and 19th century. The vaults are, in fact, more due to French and Spanish tradition than they are to any water table issues. So it's really a mixture of folklore and fact as to why the gravesite is how it is.
The popular legend is that it is Marie Laveau's oldest daughter. So there's part of her legend is that she had a double, because a lot of our sources for her stories were from the 1870s, which was after she had retired. People were still telling stories about her being out doing ceremonies, or the 1880s after she died. So all kinds of stories surface around that, but the most common one was that she had a double of some kind, someone who looked a lot like her, and the typical speculation is it's her oldest daughter. The strongest research gives us no reason to believe that that was actually true, but in popular tradition, with no evidence whatsoever, this is said to be where her daughter is. The reason why that's important is because you can see it affects tons of people to come over here and do that semi-traditional tomb vandalism, which technically, by the way, because it is vandalism of a historic national monument, is extremely illegal, so that's usually how we discourage people from doing it. Now, this is interesting because the offerings they've left here, I don't know if you can even tell at this point what they are. This is a huge pile of red beans that someone left here, and they've been sitting out long enough that they've all sprouted. So there's like this little living garden. It's like resurrection that's happened in front of this tomb.
So they're paying respects to somebody they don't even know who it is. Really.
They think they know who it is, and that's the thing, is generally people who visit this and do this, their source of suggestions, like if they asked a historian, none of us would tell them, yeah, go out and draw on someone's tomb. It's not even rational in terms of asking for a favor, because you're vandalizing someone's house before you ask them for something. But they are instead going to like an occult store, and they're hearing a popular way of doing this, or more likely they're just visiting a website, and they're seeing something that's just been done before. Because of her being a hairdresser, people leave implements of the trade over here because that's such a common part of the legend. So you will see like brushes, makeup, things like that sometimes. And then sometimes the idea is you leave something that's of personal value, because that's fair trade for whatever favor that you're getting at this point. She wouldn't have accepted like something that belonged to you at that point, but now that she doesn't have physical needs anymore, that's the idea. So once in a while, among the less creative things, I'll see like someone leaves a Zulu coconut, like one of the painted coconuts from the Zulu parade, which is a super coveted prize for New Orleanians. And then my favorite thing I've ever seen here was somebody left a drumstick, like a musician's drumstick, that was propped up right here, and it was chipped to nothing. Clearly totally valueless, but this thing had probably been on tour for someone, it had a name probably, and it felt like an extension of their soul, and leaving it behind would have been painful. So that's the idea, because there would have been a time when people would have bled in front of these tombs as a means of paying respect and making sacrifice. And you don't want to do that now, that's also illegal these days, but it should feel sort of like that, whatever you decide to do, if you want to pay respects at some point. I wouldn't do it here, I'd do it at the other one.
All right, man, I promise you something that's going to blow your mind, and
All
this
right.
is it.
Wow.
Omnia ab uno. This is the tomb of Nicolas Cage.
Wait, actor Nicolas Cage?
Actor Nicolas Cage.
So he bought a plot here.
He bought a plot. He had the entire floor of the area set up with a drainage system to prevent any flooding, and this is where he and his immediate family will be buried.
Oh, that is really creepy.
Yeah, can I tell you something creepier?
Huh.
Are the people who come and kiss his stone, and he's not even here yet.
He's not even dead yet. But I kind of see the national treasure-ness of it all, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's the most ridiculous thing. So yeah, this is where we're gonna leave the tour at Nicolas Cage. So I think it's time to go back to the convention
center
and resume the living.
Well, now I know I definitely want to be cremated, or I could just shack up with the Cage family.
Yeah.
So we've had some good food, and we saw some cool comic books and posters and statues, and now we've seen where Nicolas Cage is going to be buried someday.
What more could you ask for?
It's definitely going down the Big Easy, and now it's time for New Orleans Comic Con.
I'm heading to the con. I'll see you guys there.
See you guys around the con.